Okay, here we go. We've got 30 seconds. 30 seconds. I even have a theme tune, ladies and gentlemen. We have a theme tune, which I will play. When I post it online, I will actually put this together. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
I think it's called COVID. Corona! It's the Coronacast with Deliso Chaponda.
So I'm back with Coronacast. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody who has tuned in to the Coronacast Comedy Show, here with Deliso Chaponda. Deliso Chaponda. I am here broadcasting live. This is my first stream. I've done 3 episodes of the Coronacast Comedy Show, but I filmed them and then I posted them. This one, I'm trying to do it live, and I'll be doing it live same time every day from now. So if you enjoy it, do come and tune in. This is a comedy show, so what I've done is I've written jokes. But the last 3 Coronacast comedy shows were all about Corona. It was just Corona jokes after Corona jokes after Corona jokes. And I started to get frustrated. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm sure a lot of us are tired about hearing about it. It's important. You got to tune in. But I was tired of doing it, and I was tired of writing jokes about it. So I put something out to the fans. I said, hey, I will write jokes about whatever subject you want, as long as it's not Corona related. And I got a bunch of suggestions. If you look on the side of the screen, you will see a bunch of things came in, and this is what I'm going to, over the next 30-40 minutes, it might even be longer. I don't know how long each of these jokes are. I will do jokes about all of these. Some of them may be atrocious, okay? You've got to understand, usually when I used to do jokes by request, what I would do is I would test drive the jokes, and then I would delete all the ones that didn't work. I'm going to do the ones which work, the ones which don't work, and hopefully you will enjoy the ride. So let us begin, my listeners, with the first request. This request comes from @charity_Daz. And he wanted jokes about toilet paper and pasta. Right now, he did not. He said no, it doesn't have to be Corona related, but clearly this is what's on his mind: toilet paper and pasta. Charity Daz, I hope you have toilet paper and pasta, or at least one, and you can use it as the other. But anyway, here are my non-Corona related thoughts about toilet paper and pasta, because I was thinking about it. And if trees are actually sentient, right? If trees think and feel, it must be such an insult to them that we use them as toilet paper. Could you imagine if your grandfather tree has just died, you're a sycamore or a redwood, you're just chilling out, and your friends are like, oh, sorry, the humans came and they chopped down your uncle. And you're like, oh, that's terrible, but I guess it was his time to go. And they'll probably turn him into a chair or turn him into I don't know, something like that. They said, oh no, says the redwood. They didn't turn him into a chair. And then they're like, oh, I don't know then. I guess he could be a book or something like that. No. I hate to be the one to tell you this. They are using him to wipe their ass. They're using the corpse of your grandfather to wipe their ass. Toilet paper is a serious insult to the pear trees. Use bidets, people. Use bidets. Okay, so that was the first one. I don't know if it's funny. If you think it's funny, let me know. As I said, I'm trying all of them. Let us move on to pasta. This is again a suggestion from _Charity Daz. Charity Daz wanted a joke about pasta. So I did some research about pasta, and I was surprised by this. I've taken notes over here, and this is an interesting thing. The first ever mention of pasta was in Greek mythology. Oh wait, I'm on pause on YouTube. Is everybody see me on pause? Oh no, Ties, you see me? Fathala, do you see me again? Am I still on pause? It might be your computer. Might be your computer. Hopefully, we can move on to the second joke. The second joke, this is about pasta. So I did a little bit of research about the origins of pasta. And in Greek mythology, that's the first time they mentioned pasta, right? And the story is amazing. The god Vulcan, who is the the Greek god of fire, he tried to pick up Ceres, the goddess of agriculture. So he'd been macking on the goddess of agriculture. She said hell no. She rejected him, and he was so angry at being rejected. She's the goddess of agriculture. He's like, I'm going to show you. He stripped every grain of wheat. He ripped out every single grain of wheat from the fields, okay? He smashed the kernels with an iron club. This is how angry he was, because she represents wheat. And then he flung them into the Bay of Naples in anger, and then it turned into a paste. And he was so angry that it hadn't actually been destroyed and been turned into a paste. He grabbed this paste and then he flung it into Mount Vesuvius, a volcano. And thus we had pasta. From the anger of a god, it created pasta. This is one of the most wonderful stories I've ever heard. I did not make this up. This is what we call true mythology. And I also think there's something very inspiring about it, because he took his breakup and he ended up creating macaroni and spaghetti out of the thing which he hated. I wish I could manage my breakups like that. Maybe we all need to take this to heart. Like, let's say you break up with a doctor, right? Grab all of their stethoscopes, mash it together, try to create some kind of art. Or if you're dating a lawyer and she dumps you, what you've got to do is you got to take all of the books and just fling them. Take all of her law books and pulp them, turn them into toilet paper. Yes, this is how we will survive. Okay, those are at Charity Daz's suggestions. I hope you enjoyed them at Charity Daz. Let's move on to let's move on to at Lee Jones. And your suggestion was boxing. Now, you did not specify whether you're talking about boxing as in the sport of boxing, or whether you're talking about putting things into boxes, right? But either way, I took it to be boxing, like boxing. And again, because I was already researching mythology for the first jokes, I looked into the first time that boxing has appeared in history. And actually, the proof they have of the first boxing is in Egypt. In ancient Egypt, there was some boxing. There was some boxing, pictures of people boxing on the walls, right? On the walls of one of the pyramids. Now, I looked at the image. Now, when I put this online, I'll actually put the image in the stream. But I looked at the image, and I don't know if you've seen ancient Egyptian art. I never know how do all of the archaeologists know what it's meant to depict, because it's got one guy like this, right? His arms are like this, right? And then it's got the other guy like this, right? To me, this does not look like boxing. If you are over there doing this, and then I'm over here doing some kind of crane, how is that boxing? These guys are dancing. They were doing the ancient Egypt version of TikTok. I think that was what was really going. This guy was going like this. This guy was going like this. And I think there's an interesting thing. All of the paintings and all of the drawings always mislead people. People make assumptions about what they are. They could have just been terrible artists. And we're interpreting so much about ancient Egyptian. We're interpreting so much about ancient Egyptian culture based on bad art. Like, I'm sure you all know the walk like an Egyptian thing comes from the image of ancient Egyptians doing this, right? Now, the reason they did this is very interesting. The reason they would pose people like this is because they had a belief that if you paint a person, you're capturing some of their soul, right? You're capturing some of their soul. And so you've got to depict the whole body. Because if you draw someone just their face and you're not portraying their whole body, they believed maybe their arm would fall off, right? Because you've almost cursed them. It's like a voodoo doll. So if you depict someone in art, you've got to show the whole body, and showing them at profile like this ensure that you've got the whole hand, the whole leg, the whole torso. And it's amazing to me because so many ancient cultures had beliefs like this, right? You know, there are people who believe that taking pictures was giving away a bit of your soul. The one thing which I worry about, though, is imagine they were right. No one ever considers. Imagine all the ancient cultures are right. Then every day on Instagram, we're just giving away pieces of our souls. We're all going to die, and we're going to have to be like jigsaw puzzle people, finding all the lost pieces of our soul, being like, oh, I shouldn't have sent that dick pic. That's a little bit of my soul right there. We'll have to put our souls back together. And I also start thinking about what other beliefs might the Egyptians have been right about, right? What other beliefs? Imagine the ancient Egyptians were right about burial. Because the reason why if you go into any of these, the reasons if you go into any of the sarcophagus, they always were buried with their belongings because they believed in the afterlife. You take with you only what has been buried with you, right? And we make fun of it. But imagine they were right. Imagine we are all going to show up at the gates and just have no belongings, and we'll be running around trying to borrow from the pharaoh. Say, hey, can I use your toothbrush? I should have been buried with my toothbrush. I may have lost my way in that joke, but I hope you are happy at Lee Jones with my jokes about boxing. Let's go to Evelyn Sibindi Van Dam, who is lovely that she's still a fan of mine in Malawi. I once made fun of her when she came late to one of my shows, so I'm glad you are still a fan. And she has wanted me to talk about the Malawi president shuffling army like it's chess. Now, this is an interesting thing. The first thing is I'm not really up on what's going on in Malawi. I'm a bad Malawian. I literally don't read the newspapers. I don't keep in track with what's going on in Malawi politics, except when I'm going to Malawi and about to do a show there, right? So I don't really know. Also, my dad's a politician. I get him in trouble with my jokes, so often I avoid the subject. But at the same time, based on you, Evelyn Sibindi Van Dam, I see that the Malawi president is shuffling army generals like it's chess. Well, first thing, this means Zambia. Any Zambians watching, this is the time to invade. You can take over Malawi. I'm not condoning it, but this would be a time for a sneak attack, right? And secondly, though, I have to question your choice of words, Evelyn, because you said the Malawi president has been shuffling army generals like it's chess. But I've played chess. I don't know if you've played chess. You don't shuffle the pieces. I guess you move the pawns to the end and then you transform the pawn into a queen, right? That's a promotion. You don't shuffle. Is there a game where you take something out and then you put something else to replace it that's the same? Maybe checkers. No, checkers you don't. Again, you go to the end and then you promote it. I may be being excessively pedantic, but honestly, Evelyn, I think if you make a request, you have to do some research. Maybe Scrabble. Because Scrabble, you've got pieces, you've got tiles, and if you don't like the tiles, you take out the tile and you put a new tile. So what you should have said, that the Malawian president was shuffling army generals like Scrabble tiles. There we go. Let's move on to the next one. Marcus Thornton, at Marcus Thornton, has asked for a joke about December babies. Okay, now, the reason you've said this, of course, is because a lot of people are in quarantine, a lot of people are in isolation. This means that a lot of people are probably going to be having lots of sex. Not me, because I'm in isolation alone. I'm a total idiot. I'm in isolation alone, and I even feel like more of an idiot because the last opportunity I had to have some good sex, right? I'm not going to go too much into it, but I kind of messed it up by saying something insensitive and not apologizing because I was proud. I didn't know I was about to go into isolation. I would have just apologized, given her flowers, given her gold chains, whatever it took, and just said, I'm sorry. But I didn't say sorry because I thought I was right. And now I just have an even longer gap before I next have some good loving. Oh well. Oh well. Let's move on. Hello, Jake Globox. Globox? Is your name Globox? Or Globo? How do you say Globo? Actually, I'm looking at words. I don't know how to say it. But anyway, back to this. A lot of December babies may be being born because 9 months away from now is essentially is December. And I started to think about December babies. And then I realized, you know who was the first December baby? Jesus. Jesus was a December baby, which means that March was when Mary was impregnated. Maybe we should celebrate the date of Mary's impregnation too. There should be a holiday, surely. Oh, but wait, it was immaculate. It was immaculate. We don't know necessarily if the immaculate conception took 9 months because it's different. You know what? I always feel, look, I love the Bible, but I feel there are not enough details. You see, these are important details. I want to know every little detail. And it just focuses on just kind of like the general stuff, tells you like the blurb version. It was written by someone who was just writing summaries. What I would prefer is if it had been written by someone like Stephen King, right? Who told you everything that was going on, told you what was going on in everyone's mind. I can tell you, just like Noah's Ark episode, the flood, Stephen King would have done a good 200, 300 pages, right? The whole Bible, written by someone like Stephen King, if they had been the person, it would probably be 500,000 pages, which would be very informative. But poor priests, could you imagine priests that have to show up at church with a truck with the Bible in it, and they'll be making statements like, could you please open your Bibles to chapter 278 of Genesis, and may we turn to 7 verse. I'm just laughing because Thais is very funny. He said it would be called the Stephen King's Bible instead of the King James Bible. Very impressive. You should be a comedian, Thais. Excellent. So that, my friend, was my little joke about December babies for at Marcus Thornton. The next one, I'm not going to say your full name. It's at Madeline something, because I don't want you to get creepy people to start seeking you out. But at Madeline asked me to make jokes about her love life, right? I was like, I don't know anything about your love life. How can I talk about it? She said she didn't want to drown the keyboard with tears. So clearly she is in a lot of pain. She's clearly very depressed. So I started to stalk her. Look, I didn't do anything wrong. She must have, she said she wanted jokes about her love life. So I went to her page and I tried to figure out why she is single. Why are you single? Why are you single, Madeline? And I'll tell you this, Madeline is hot. Madeline is very beautiful. Jake Globox. Hello, Pamela, Jake Globox's mom. I'm talking about a very single, beautiful woman called Madeline. And I didn't understand why such a beautiful woman was single. And then I kept looking. And the first thing I saw is, where does she live? She lives in the North Pole. I think that's your problem right there. Nobody is going that far for a Tinder date, right? This is your problem. I don't know what you think is the reason for your being single. I think it's where you are located. Just move somewhere else. Though right now, with COVID going on, being in a very isolated place is probably a very good move. So enjoy your isolated place. But look, if I ever do a tour of Alaska, end up at the North Pole or something, I'll take you out and we can, eat a penguin or something. That's Madeline. It's love life. Now let's move on to the next one, which is from at Moses Mulungu in Malawi, and he wants me to talk about the fact that he thinks it's absurd there's a state of emergency in Malawi when there is not yet a single case of COVID-19. Now, there's a lot of people around the world have this sort of view. People who feel people are overreacting. Why are we panicking? We don't even have any cases. Why is there a state of emergency? Why are they doing that? But you see, you've got to prevent it before you get it, right? Because it's a global thing. It's hopping from country to country. It's important to try and shut things down. I actually don't even think they're doing enough because they're still letting people come in from infected areas. What you gotta do is you gotta clamp it down. Now look, let me put it in a way you can think, right? Prevention is more important than treatment. Like, would you just after you've impregnated a woman say, hey, let me get a condom. It's too late. You need to do it first. I think that's all I came up with from that. Yeah. So at Moses Mulungu, I didn't really write many gags for you, but because I pretty much think it's good that Malawi is putting the gloves on, putting the condom on, because you don't want COVID. Look at me. I'm telling jokes to a screen in my flat. Who knew this would be my life? I just got famous, and this is what happened. Next thing, ladies and gentlemen. Next thing is at Neil Renton. A friend of mine from university has said that he does, because of COVID and isolation, he does more diaper changes now than conference calls because he's doing all his business from home, but he also has to diaper change his little cute baby. So I have come up with a solution for you, Neil. What you need to do is you need to combine the two, right? You need to do your conference calls for your business while you are doing your diaper changes, right? You might actually find it useful. Let's say one of your colleagues suggests an idea that you don't think very much of. That's when you rip off the diaper, hold it up, essentially saying your idea was crap, like that. So that's my idea. Try it out, Neil. Let me know if it works. The next one, at Chimwemwe Miller. Oh, no. Sorry, I missed one. At Kola Fokoya has asked me why women pose like this. Now, for this, I have found the image. I've got the image. Give me a little moment as I find the image which he... See, this is why usually I have got a producer, because I cannot produce for myself. Okay, here it is. Okay, so this is the image which bothers Kola, right? Kola feels, why is this... Does the camera see these women? Right? Okay, so Kola feels that these women are... he does not like how they're posing. Why do women pose like this? I think what your question actually tells us is more about you than anything else. Because what are they? I don't know these women. Are they porn stars or something? What sites are you on, Kola? What are you looking at? Right? And, they're attractive. And I guess they're in that pose because they want perverts like you to take a look. At Kola, don't be ashamed. Enjoy the poses. Next one, we have at Chimwemwe Miller. At Chimwemwe Miller, who just wrote awesome. Now, I think he was just saying it was awesome that I'm doing these jokes, but maybe he wanted me to talk about awesomeness. I'll tell you an interesting thing about Chimwemwe Miller. Chimwemwe Miller is a Malawian actor and singer, all-around performer who I met in university. And I got to tell you, he used to give me nightmares because I was there trying to be a comedian, right? And then one day this dude shows up, who's also Malawian, goes on stage. This guy can sing, he can dance, he's good looking, he can do everything. And I was like, oh my God, if I was him, I would be the most famous person on the planet. I'd be the famous person on the planet. And I even thought to myself, I could just write for him. If I write for him, between the two of us, we'll be millionaires. But I had too much ego. I wanted to be the person on stage myself. So I just ran away from him. He had too many skills. I don't know what you're doing right now, but awesome. You are awesome, Chimwemwe Miller. I hope you're still being awesome, and I hope you're still acting. I don't know what you're doing, but you are very, very, very talented. Let's move on to the next one. Next person is at Alicia Allen, and she wanted a joke about potty training. She wanted me to talk about potty training, and I'm going to talk about potty training. But the thing is, I don't have kids. I don't have any babies. So I have never had to potty train. However, what I do, which is very important, is potty mouth training, right? This is what comedians are good at. I help kids get potty mouth because they secretly go watch my video and watch me swearing, right? And swearing and insults is a very important thing to learn. You've got to learn to be creative with the swearing. You've got to learn how to string together words. It actually brings me back to mind when I was a little kid. I was in boarding school. I used to get bullied. It happens. And I somehow convinced myself that if I came up with a perfect insult, right? If I strung together a perfect insult and I swore, I cussed out the bully when he was, because it usually would start with the bullies making fun of you. And I was like, if I insult him so elegantly, he's just going to give up. Everyone's going to laugh at him. He's going to give up, right? And so this is what I did. I started stringing together lots of words to create a long insult. And I still remember this. It was you. So this guy says something like, oh, dumbass, or nerd. And then I got up and said, you supersonic. I don't know why I thought supersonic was a good place to start. I think I even got inspiration from somewhere. I don't even know where I had seen someone do a long insult, and I just went longer. So it was, you supersonic, idiotic, brain-affected, unhygienic son of a motherless monkey. That was my insult, which I thought would make the bully explode into pieces. What it actually happened was I got beat up, but still, people laughed at my crazy insult. So in the long run, I think I won. And I'm ready for round 2. If you're out there, Mr. Bully. Bart. Yeah. I would take you on now. So that's the next one. The next one is at Bonnie McDowell. She wanted something about hurricane season. Specifically, she was talking about the fact that, with all of the stuff which they've got for COVID, like all of the, the tissue papers and all of the cans, they're ready for anything. They're like, bring it on, bring it on, bring on whatever you want, bring on the hurricanes. We are ready for anything. And there's actually a level that people who have been through terrible things are not as shocked or horrified by what's going on. I spoke to a friend of mine, a comedian called Carl Joshua Ngube, very funny guy. Check out his stuff. But I spoke to him yesterday, and I was talking to him about, how is Corona affecting Zimbabwe? Are you guys worried? And he wasn't worried at all, because he's like, we've been living this way for ages. People are like, in the West are panicking over food shortages. They've had food shortages there for years, right? They're panicking in the West over, power cuts and stuff like. They've had power cuts there for years. And I actually suggested, and I hope he does it, Carl, you better do this. I want Carl to create a 10-step guide to surviving the disruption of your economy from a Zimbabwean, because they have done it first, so we can do it. Like in a battle, you send a scout first to check it out before you go. Well, the Zimbabweans have been sent by the human race a few years ago to go through the devaluing currency and the collapsing economy so that they can come and lead us. The leaders of the world right now should be Zimbabweans. Too bad Mugabe is gone, because, he knew firsthand. So that is the next one. Ladies and gentlemen. That is the joke which was suggested by at Bonnie McDowell, who wanted something about being ready for disasters. Okay? And then we come to the next one, which isn't even a joke. At Nick Deco wanted to know, what is the link to my YouTube? It's just YouTube user / Deliso Chaponda. Everywhere I am Deliso Chaponda. You who came late, Joseph Holder, don't worry. This video, when it's done, I'm going to edit it, make it look good, put in all of my suggestions, and then I'm going to post the finished video on YouTube. It's going to be on Twitch. It's going to be anywhere, so you can catch up. Don't worry. Okay? Also, before I do the last 2 jokes, let me see what people have been saying. Is there anything I should respond to? What have we got? So, Oh, New Jersey. Hello, Rick Zomi in New Jersey. Nice to see people from all over the world. Hello, Kyle Peterman from Texas. Wow. Don't be you are. I am. Oh, Simon Cowell said I am fantastically non-PC. He did. He did. That was a very good moment. Moment changed my life. Okay. What else do we have? Just lots of laughter. Thank you for the laughter. Thank you for the laughter. And then we have North Pole reindeer eat a penguin. I'll eat a penguin. I'll eat a penguin. And then what we've got is developing a potty mouth is an essential part of development. It is. It is. It is. Oh dear. Are you still there? I may have messed something up. Hello? Are you still there? Are you still there? Oh, hi, I'm from Romania. You're still clear there. Whatever I clicked did not resist. Hello from Liberia. Hi from Liberia. Are you guys worried? Because you guys beat Ebola. If you can beat Ebola, you're probably like, COVID, come, we'll beat you up, man. Well, hello, people in Liberia. Thank you for coming in, Augustine. Hello from Romania. There was, you have very beautiful women in Romania. And I briefly was seeing one a few years ago. I don't know why I'm telling you that, but yes. Anyway, thank you. Your pronouns are she and her because I am a woman. Hello, Thais. Hello, she. Okay, here we go. The last two. Okay, so somebody asked me to do a joke about panic buying. At Craig Thomas asked for a joke about panic buying, but not related to Corona. Because as I said, this is a no Corona comedy zone right now because I'm tired of doing jokes about Corona. So the time that I tried to think of the last time I panic bought, and I remembered, and I'm sure anyone else can feel what I'm feeling now. I would normally say clap your hands, but click yes, or click somehow indicate if you have ever thought you've made someone pregnant who you were not in love with and you did not want to spend the rest of your life with, right? Those of you have had this shameful moment, right? Those of you who've had that shameful moment. I remember panic buying when somebody who I was not in love with and I'd had an entanglement with said they'd missed their period. I remember going and panic buying a pregnancy test. I remember walking to the supermarket and it was like I was walking in a horror movie. Like when I bought the pregnancy test, my hand was shaking and I was like, oh no, this is my life. I was walking home and I was like, I don't even know her surname. Oh my God. And then it was absolutely crazy because when I gave it to her and I said, okay, urinate on it. And then waiting for it was like being on like some kind of game show, like dun 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 dun. But then the way I responded and the way that all of you in this situation should respond, please, if you ever think you impregnate someone and you don't want the child and she doesn't want the child, even though both of you don't want the child, if it goes negative, the correct reaction is not to jump up and down and go, yes, oh my God, I dodged the bullet, yes. Yeah, she threw me out. Hello, Julius Thera saying, I've probably got a few children out there. I don't. I'm very careful. I'm very, very careful. All my comedy shows should be sponsored by Durex because I am a very, very careful man. Hello, Sal DJ from France. You like my jokes? Thank you. One of my favorite comedian friends, Sugar Sammy, is based in France half of the time. You should check him out. He's brilliant. Oh, no, it's scary. Tyson Guru, it's scary. I say you had 240 cases, but 0 death. Thank God there no death. Hopefully it stays that way. And you will survive. You've dealt with you've dealt with crazier things in South Africa. You can deal with Corona. You'll be fine. Hello from Denmark. Okay, this is the last of my suggestions. Thank you all of those. Before I do the last joke, I'll thank all of you for tuning in, checking out this stream. I'm going to be doing a stream like this every day, and you can come watch it live, but also Coronacast Comedy. It's a podcast if you just want to listen to the sound. I'll either be doing this where I do jokes, or each day I'll have a theme. This is episode 4. Episode 1 was about fear. Episode 2 was about loneliness. Episode 3 was about survivalism. You can check them out in YouTube. They're on my YouTube channel, which is just YouTube, Delisa Chaponda. They're on Coronacast Comedy. It's everywhere. Trust me, it's everywhere. It's on Instagram. I even posted on Instagram. So whatever your chosen way of engaging with content, it's there. It's totally free. I'm going to keep doing it. Oh, what time? It's going to be 9 p.m. GMT every day. So like right now is 9:30 GMT. So like every day, 9 p.m., I'll be doing something until such a time that I can start performing in front of people again. So, final joke, final suggestion. Thank you all of you for tuning. And the final joke is about looking. Oh, someone wanted, at Stephen Watwood, wanted me to do a joke about how Boris Johnson looks like he's just come out of bed all the time, right? Because, he has ruffled hair and things like that. The thing that I think Stephen Watwood doesn't realize, and a lot of people don't realize, because a lot of people often make fun of how he looks or point out how he looks, this is a look that Boris Johnson has chosen, right? This is his preferred avatar. I'm telling you, this is what he's chosen. In fact, if there are any pictures of him not looking like that, I bet he does Photoshop to make himself look like this. This is what he wants to look like. How do I know this? Because he's the prime minister. He's a politician. He has got a team of people who do makeup, people who do your hair. He's got advisors, and any one of them would change how he looks, right? In fact, he probably had to fire some hairdresser who made his hair look all proper and neat, and he looked in the mirror, he's like, that's not how I look like, you're fired, someone come muss it up. And then that person came in because he carefully makes himself look this way. Sometimes you see him with a tie askew. He wants it to look this way. Every morning he wakes up, looks in the mirror and does that, and then he's like, this is what I want the world to see. I don't know what his motivation is, but it's all on purpose. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Coronacast Comedy Show. Also, you should know, if you want some well-produced stand-up comedy, my comedy special, my comedy DVD, What the African Said, I've put it on my YouTube channel for totally free until the end of the coronavirus, and then it will be back on pay sites. So if you want to check it out without having to pay iTunes or something, check it out. It's an hour and 20 minutes of my best jokes. Please keep coming back. Thank you for coming. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and we'll get through this corona stuff together. Thank you, and good night, and be safe. Thank you.